This statistic and the news that came with it reveals something quite shocking about Finland, but even more from the rest of the European Union. This is the reason why the European welfare states are kind of going down, and I would say that this is also why the entire European Union is not really going to work, even though it might be a bit far-fetched, but still. But first, these news that came along with this. Well, here in Finland, they were basically presented like this, that good news, the people of Finland are the second most hardest, or let's say, has the second highest number of households that are investing in stocks and mutual funds. The second highest proportion. Right after that, damn neighboring Sweden. But in Finland, that number was 47%. 47% of households in Finland, according to this study, are investing in stocks. But that means that more than half of the households are not investing in stocks. And in the rest of the European Union, it's even worse. Except in that damn Sweden, where that number was 65%. But even there, Sweden is number one with 65%. But that's only 2/3 of the households. But so even in Finland, over half of the households are not investing in stocks. And this is what makes it so shocking. And the point of this video is this. And this, what I'm about to say, I will make a whole videos about this, several videos. You see, the thing is, if you are not investing into productive assets, like stocks being the most common, if you are not investing, that means that your pension strategy, when you become a pensioner, is to become a financial burden to others. This is something that in countries like Finland and pretty much all of Europe, people don't like to say, people don't like to admit. That if you are not building your own wealth, it means that your strategy as a pensioner is to become a financial burden to others. In Europe, saying this out loud will probably sound harsh, but that is the fact. And in the rest of Europe, it was even worse. In the country of Germany, according to this study, only 35% of households are investing in stocks. In Spain, it was 6%. And in Portugal, it was 5%. And especially in the European Union, countries like Spain, that had only 6% of households investing into stocks, well, just now during the Corona period or right after, they started receiving the Spanish government started receiving massive amounts of money from the European Union. Well, guess where that money went to? At least a portion of that money went straight into the pensioners' pocket. And this is why the European welfare state, from Finland to Portugal, basically all of them that at least are welfare states, especially Germany, I believe, the problem is that the burden of the welfare state, people's welfare, is simply becoming too high for the income-earning taxpayers. Because people don't have money to pay their own bills. And that is, in many of the European countries, in the end, that is the number one problem. And in Finland, where the number was 47, well, those people, the way majority of them, they are not aiming to become financially independent. But if you are not investing at all into productive assets, that means that you don't have any intention of paying any of your bills when you finally get out of the workforce, meaning becoming a pensioner. And that is the core problem in the European Union right now. And that is what makes this statistic so shocking. And that was the point of this video. At least luckily, at least in Finland, the portion of households that are investing into stocks, that is and has been a rising number. So it is a little bit comforting that at least Finland is heading for a good direction, but still, over half of the households are not investing. And for most of European Union, except Sweden, it's even worse. And that number has to go up. In Finland, also in Sweden, in all of Europe. And that is one goal that this channel is aiming for. Well, that was it. That was the point of this video. And by the way, I think this is the first video that I took in one shot without any breaks at all. So, from this, we are going to go forward. And this is Radio Heikkala. Thank you for watching.